Well, Lions, welcome. This is the second session for Saturday, May 25th. We are talking about the positions of club first vice president and club president. What is expected of you in the two different positions? Both need to work together. That's why we have you come to a joint session, because one will develop into the other. This is a progression from first vice president to club president.
I finally got unmuted.
Oh, okay.
And Don, let me mute you, and then I'll mute you for now while I get going here. All right. Either you're going to be the first vice president or you're going to be the incoming president. If you were the incoming president last year and didn't come to one of these sessions, you're going to learn a lot of what you should have done prior to now before you take over in July. You're going to prepare to lead as the club first vice president. If you are the first president, you need to prepare yourself to lead. And if you were the first vice president last year and you're going to be the club president, you have to prepare to succeed as club president. There are some tools for you to kind of keep you on track. One of which is the standard club constitution and bylaws. It has the club leadership structure and organization involved in it. And so you should be looking at that and should have a copy of that in your book. Yes, you should be structured to have a book on this. We're going to talk about moving your club forward each year with a plan. This familiarize yourself with My LCI has now been changed to My Lion, and we'll talk about that. And we'll talk about your first 30 days as club first vice president. What should you do? And then when it gets closer to the time you're going to become club president, how to transition to club president. And yes, there is a transition out of being club president for your successor. So we'll talk about all of these items in succession. The standard club constitution and bylaws. Some clubs had approved club constitution and bylaws previously with items that they did that were unique. They were originally approved by Lions Clubs International legal department. However, a lot of them have not been updated, and you need to pick up a copy of the standard club constitution and bylaws from Lions Clubs International Resource Center. Just to know what's happening, you need to, if you did not do it last year, you will need to do it this coming year, is to make sure that the club constitution and bylaws match Lions Club's constitution and standard constitution and bylaws. There are some mandatory items in the standard club constitution and bylaws, and there's been some changes as far as club officer elections. So all of those you need to be aware of those items. Let's start with the club board of directors. Yes, both the club president and the club first vice president are part of the board of directors. The club president is the chief executive officer of the club. Not only are you going to provide over meetings and call the club to action, you're going to coordinate the efforts of the board members and chairpersons to implement all activities of the club. First vice presidents, not only do you serve as ready to step in for the president, but since you're planning your succession to club president, you're also a catalyst to analytically assess what the club is doing and then plan for your year to make any kind of changes that need to be done. Your club's second vice president stands by to be in succession. However, he or she serves as requested by the club to lead specific committees or projects. So your second vice is your project person. I know in some clubs they have certain fundraisers that they do year in and year out, and they want the chair of those projects to be one of the vice presidents. In the past, it's been the first vice president's position to take these on, but the first vice president's position has been changed to where you have a lot more to do, and we don't want to burn out the first vice president with simply added duties. Your club secretary sits on the board of directors as well, keeps the history of your club, official proceedings, accounting for club membership roster, and then assist in communication effort to your members. But more importantly, your club secretary is your liaison, communications liaison between the club, district, and Lions Clubs International. The club treasurer serves as the main bookkeeper for both the club administrative and public funds from service activities. Your club administrative are your dues, and your any public funds collected from the general public from service activities must go in a separate account. The treasurer will administer for membership dues, invoicing, collection, making deposits, recording expense receipts, and so forth. The treasurer will prepare and distribute all financial reports, which includes annual budget and so forth. Your club membership chair. Club membership chair leads the charge in recruiting new members, orienting them into involvement opportunities with the club and nurturing relationships between established members and new members. In other words, finding mentors for these new members. Your chairperson is just that. He has a committee. He or she has a committee. This is not a one-person job. The club membership chairperson should have at least 2 or 3 people helping him, maybe as much as 4, especially if you're going to have a very successful membership program. Your club service chairperson coordinates all service activities chosen by the club as its program of works. This person also has a committee. All of your service activities that you had previously done should all come and be headed up by the club service chairperson. Just to tell you what I did in my own club, I took all the chairs of all the service projects that we did, and they were made members of the service committee. And as a committee, we make recommendations to the full board on all service projects. The club marketing and communications chairperson keeps all the activities of the club in the public eye. This, in other words, is PR, public relations, and you're going to promote the club and its services to the community. You're going to be involved with the community newspapers, local websites, the whole 9 yards. Hopefully the club has a website, active website, or active Facebook page, Instagram. There's some other social media, all come under the club marketing communications chairperson. What we're trying to do is move your club forward each year with a plan from now on. One of your most important tasks this year, especially First Vice, is to lead your club forward into the next fiscal year after an annual review of the club's activities. So you're going to be reviewing what the club has done in the last year, what has it accomplished, and what it hasn't hit, any potential unrealized activities. That way you can come together and in this plan, moving forward, have a more successful year as far as membership, leadership, as well as service. So there are some tools out there in Lions Clubs International to assist your club. Some are more simple and others are just as sophisticated that you want to use. The Club Quality Initiative is basically a system that's out there. It's an interactive process that brings members together to look at what your club's doing today and what it wants to accomplish tomorrow. There's a lot of brainstorming involved with the Club Quality Initiative. It can be done, the lighter version can be done within the club. If you want the full version, we have a few of us that are certified to do the CEP as a facilitator. Have one person outside the club that can facilitate the operations. So I happen to be one of those certified CEP trainers. That's more a sophisticated way of doing it. If you want to get a bunch of folks together, probably your board of directors, all your club officers, that may be one way of doing it. The other way is just getting together and using the blueprint for a stronger club. This is just a little brochure that tells you, that kind of guides you through the process of developing and implementing a plan of action for your goals. It's a very great brochure. You can use it, and it will tell you how to put an action plan together, and goals, and writing goals, and so forth. Your club, your way. There are some clubs out there that are non-traditional. This Your Club Way, Your Way has a lot of information on stuff that is non-traditional Lions Club oriented. This is for like special ethnic clubs, for like family clubs. It has a lot of good information on setting up some fun, different ways, non-traditional ways of setting up a Lions Club. LCI Forward is still available. The goal of LCI is to triple our collective impact to improving lives, at least 200 million per year. We have now reached 300 million, so we're pretty well there. We've exceeded that in this last year in 2018-19. So look for some changes here. Maybe we'll keep at the 300 level, 300 million. But familiarize yourself with LCI Forward and why we're asking for you to plan your service activities. The class before this that I had was MyLion, the single account login. Current officers had to convert to this March 29th. Some had problems, but we're working through all those problems. But for the most part, this is the wave of the future. All officers need to be encouraged to take this course. You'll be able to listen to the recording or attend in the last 2 Saturdays in June. I will have a MyLion live instructor-led class in Buda and in Austin at the School for the Blind. School for Blind will be June 29th. Buda will be June 22nd. From the dashboard, once you're in and have created this account, you will have access to MyLCI, MyLion, the LCI store, and LCIF donations. In the class, we'll go over mainly the MyLion part. Club first vice presidents and presidents, the MyLCI. Click on that on the dashboard. You should be able to get membership information as far as what your club's members are doing, who your members are, so forth. The type of members you have, like regular members and associate members, that kind of thing. The MyLion will be where your service activities will be recorded July 1, 2019. From that point forward, all the club's service activities were reported in MyLion. Club president, you are the backup to the secretary, who is the backup to the club service chair as far as reporting club service activities in MyLion. So it's important that you know about MyLion and what the features are. LCI store, perfect. You want to keep that in mind. It's a good way of getting into the store separately. And then there's a place called Insights, which will give you the power to look at reports from LCIF as far as your club's donations to LCIF. Now we're going to get into the nitty-gritty of this course today. We'll start with the first vice president and then transition to club president. So bear with me. It'll all fit into place, hopefully by the end. Your first 30 days as club first vice president. You're going to get involved with monthly meetings and events, okay? Your club meetings. If your club has a head table, your club president may want you as first vice president also to sit at this head table during the club's regular club proceedings. Always ask. The board of directors, you are an active member as first vice president of the board. And it's essential for your preparations to be club president that you attend all board meetings. Remain fully aware of any board actions that were taken as far as club operations, programs, and any issues that are out there still unresolved. As first vice president in your first 30 days, you may be assigned to certain committees to stand in for the club president in some of the committee work, okay? There are quarterly meetings involved. The quarterly meetings that you need to be aware of are the zone meetings. The zone meetings are your current zone. Your club is assigned along with either 4 to 8 surrounding area clubs that meets together quarterly as well. The officers meet usually during the first 3 quarters of the fiscal year, and it's led by a zone chairperson. If you don't know who your zone chairperson is, you need to get to know them. You will be able to know all of your district officers' contact information on the homepage of MyLCI. So when you get on the dashboard, hit MyLCI, you'll be able to go in and see the district officers, especially the zone chairperson. Last year, we introduced the Global Action Team at the club level, which is the club president, the club first vice president, the membership chair, and the service chair. This year, all of those officers will be asked to come to a quarterly meeting. It'll be in this webinar format where all the district level coordinators of the Global Action Team will be available to discuss their different parts. And we're going to help you move along with this year, your plans. We're going to do the next year in plans starting the first quarter of the new year. So plan on attending one of these so you know what's going on. If you can't make it, make sure that your service chair, your membership chair, and your first vice president are there. Hopefully presidents are there as well too. It's important that you work together, and we'll be working on that this year. Last year we introduced you, but that's where it ended. Our new district governor wants more involvement, more planning. So we have decided to put this in for this coming year. Another important thing is annual events. Your annual club business meeting and club elections. The elections are usually held at the beginning of the fourth quarter, which is April. The standard constitution and bylaws now say that specifically, that usually are held at the beginning of the fourth quarter. It also follows up that you must report to Lions Clubs International within 15 days of the election, the officers. So if you elect your officer at the first meeting in April, then you're going to be 15 days later, which would be around mid-April, you want to report your officers. So that'll be April 15th. If you wait to the last one, like in my club, the fourth Tuesday, then we're going to be closer to the May 15th. So we're trying to get everyone on the same page with this standard club constitution and bylaws election results. It is through those results that you have been informed to come to these training sessions. So that's why it's so important that they get reported right away so we can get the information and start planning our training sessions. First vice president, you're going to begin a transition from the start of your first part of your year, and then after the elections are going, that's where between that and the July 1st of the year, you're going from the club elections to the July 1st, you're going to pull things together and begin the transition to club president. Once they have been reported, you can work together to get a new budget done, all the other plans you want to do. You can start meeting together. You just don't take office. You just can't do anything until July 1st. But that doesn't mean you can't get together and plan. You need to complete a strategic plan and make a plan. You need to look at previous projects, programs, and processes. Were they successful? Where are there needs for improvement? That kind of thing. Create a plan for your club meetings, events, service activities, and you want other opportunities to widen your involvement at the district level. There's so much information given at the district, whether it's at breakout sessions, at our midwinters and our district convention, as well as some of the cabinet meetings. You need to delegate responsibilities specific to the duties of the club officers. So service activities need to be discussed by the service committee chair. The leadership, very much a problem. First vice presidents, your leadership committee is technically what we used to call the nominating committee. You look at your membership and see where your potential leaders are. That's your job of that committee, is to kind of put things together and keep the committee, keep people running for different positions. So you're going to have membership, service, and then you want to have your marketing communications chair out there with the PR. We want you want your community to know what your club's doing and what your club goals are. You will assist the current club president during this transition between the outgoing officers and the incoming officers, okay? Especially if they're new. I mean, there's a lot of clubs, officers roll over. Traditionally, we want to discourage that, but we know in some of the smaller clubs, you don't have the luxury of doing that, so a lot of your officers serve more than 1 year. But if they're serving 1 year, make sure that the incoming has consulted with their counterpart from the outgoing. Now we're up to the club president. It's July 1st, and you're the club president. Now you need to take that plan that you've been developing and put it into action. Monthly events again, club meetings. If you put stuff together, you may have a program chair, and you may find yourself trying to put some programs and speakers and guests at these club meetings. Club president, you want to have your club meetings be fun. They must have an agenda, must have a beginning and an end time. You need to start on time and end on time in order to keep and retain your members. Your club meeting is time to focus on great service that the club is providing the community. They need to know what kind of services are being done and where the money is going as far as your service, what your fundraisers bring in, where that money is going, whether it's going to scholarships, where it's going to local other charities locally. Your members want to know where the money's going, so make sure that they are aware. Your board of director meetings, focus on working in the business. So your board of directors is where all your business, your club business is initially discussed. That's all the business functions. That's your secretary's report, your treasurer's report, and all your committee chairs report at the club, at the board of directors. You need to know what your members are thinking. Are they satisfied? Are we going to retain? How are we going to retain members if we don't know and chart how satisfied they are with what's happening? If we keep them in the loop, more than likely they will stay with us if they like what we're doing. Both community service. And most importantly, we need marketing communications, whether it's to the membership, to the local public, and so forth. Note that MyLion can be used. You can have links to in our social media to the MyLion and non-Lions that will direct non-Lions to see what the club's doing. So keep that in mind. Marketing communications chair has that responsibility. Always follow the elections requirement. As club president, you're responsible for the work of the nominations committee, and as of the last few years, initially we allowed the club president to nominate the nominating committee. However, the rules and regulations for first vice president, leadership committee kind of mirror what used to be the nominations committee. So we're asking club presidents to make sure that the club first vice presidents carry on the nominating function. Your club secretaries will help you with any election documents, any election, because remember the notice to all members of the club need to go out on the elections has to go out. That notification has to go out 2 weeks prior to the election to all the members of the club. So ideally, you would want to get that out through the club secretary. At the end of your year as club president, you're going to transition out of club president. What you want to do, a lot of them wait to the end. I don't highly recommend this because I believe in recognition at the time things happen. But you need to recognize the leaders and you need to celebrate your success for the year. So at the conclusion of the fiscal year, you need to honor those club leaders that have served as outstanding leaders in the club in your effort to reach its goals. Wait a minute. Lions Club International Foundation. Lions Around are united by the spirit of giving and helping others. It is good to give like a Melvin Jones to recognize as a tool for recognition, although it is $1,000. It's one of the ways you can do it. You can also use some of the items in Texas Lions Foundation. You want your leading humanitarian awards. Well, we've come to the question part of the session. I'm opening everyone's mic at this time, and if anyone has any questions, I know I have. Lion Don, you have any questions?
No, I pretty well followed everything, and I have a question. For some reason, I put down the times wrong for the seminars, and I intended to take both of them today, and I thought it was 4 to 5 and 5 to 6, but I was mistaken. But the coursework that's available on the computer, if you go to My Lion, where you get the book, the electronic book.
I sent the
are those courses?
Yeah. There is a ebook for every position. This one's first vice presidents and president ebook. And
right, I took the first course there in that, and I assume that there are several others that should be taken.
This year, we're encouraging all officers to take the My Lion course. The session before has been recorded and will be available on the district website. You just have to register. Once you register, it'll take you to it, and you can listen at it.
Okay, good.
Otherwise, all of these sessions will also be live class done at the end of June.
Okay. So that's at the School for the Blind on the 29th of June.
And in Buda at the Lions
Those
Den
are
in
two
Buda on the 22nd.
Okay. Okay. Are those are 2 day-long sessions or
Yeah, well,
what?
I will split them up by hour again like this, but
Mhm.
I'm training all 7 of them, so it's going to take me 7 hours to complete the whole training each Saturday.
Okay. So in other words, okay, on the there will be more than one session available, say on the 29th, and you choose the one or you sign up for the one that you can make most easily.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, thank you. I think that's all I've got at the moment.
Line Mark, you have any questions as first vice president? Good, you got the ebook. Great. Line Don, you did not receive an ebook with your invitation to today's session. You did?
Yes. I downloaded it. I've got it. I've got it, and I can refer to it. No problem.
Yeah, we just highlighted a lot of the information that was in the ebook, but the ebook has a lot more in it than what I had time to do today.
Right. Yeah, I'll make sure I go through everything that seems pertinent.
Line Don, are you the incoming president or the first?
First vice president.
All right, good. We have 2 first vice. That's great.
Mhm.
This is where you should take this course and then make sure everything's that way. You're doing your plan, and when you get ready to be president next year, you have your plan pretty much in hand. So
Right.
hopefully that's what will end up by the end of the year. Like I said, we're going to do some global action team quarterly meetings to help you develop this plan. So by the fourth quarter, you should be blowing and going, and I hope.
Sounds good.
So we did not do it last year. So the ones that were first last year and incoming presidents will only get it this year.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But the incoming district governor has training is important, and so that's what we're going to attempt to do is keep the training going and hopefully we can get our better figures on our members, retain our members, and so forth. So it's going to be a lot. It's going to be an interesting year.
Good.
Okay, if there's no other, it's 4:45 approximately now. So please encourage your other officers to also attend these sessions. So while I have you, since you're first vice presidents, you need to encourage all of your officers. I need at least 60% of all officers to be trained with the district training this year. So help me reach that goal.
Okay. All right. And I assume that you'll be notifying us each time that there's an upcoming webinar and so on and so forth.
That's correct. It'll be either that or also look for Newswire blast from the website.
Okay.
We'll use both to
All
get
right.
information out. All right.
Very good.
thank you for coming this afternoon, and look forward to working with you. And hopefully we'll have
Thank you.
a great year. Thank you.
You bet. Thank you a lot. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.